My best friend proposed at my wedding. Everyone cheered except me. I, 28F, got married last fall to my partner of 6 years, Alex, 30M. It was supposed to be the happiest day of my life, and in many ways parts of it were. But one moment during the reception has completely changed how I see one of the most important people in my life, and I still don't know if I'm justified in feeling the way I do. This is about my best friend Sophie, 27F. Sophie and I have known each other since we were 13. We met in middle school, bonded over being the two awkward girls in gym class who hated dodgeball, and stayed inseparable ever since. She was there for my first breakup, my parents' divorce, my panic attacks in college. I was there when her dad left, when she failed out of her first degree, when she had her heart broken by a guy who ghosted her after 3 years. When Alex proposed to me 2 years ago, Sophie cried harder than I did. She hugged me and said, "I knew this day would come. I've been waiting for this forever." I meant it when I asked her to be my maid of honor. I was never the kind of girl who dreamed about her wedding since childhood. I didn't have a Pinterest board. I didn't care about chair covers or signature cocktails. What I did care about was that the day felt intentional, that it reflected Alex and me, our families, and the people who mattered most. Sophie, on the other hand, loved weddings, loved them. She followed wedding influencers, watched proposal videos for fun, and had strong opinions about aesthetics. At first, I thought this would be helpful. It wasn't. From the beginning, she kept pushing ideas that weren't really us. Grand entrances, choreographed dances, big viral moments, as she called them. Every time I gently pushed back, she'd say, I know, it's your day. I'm just saying people love this stuff. People, not me, not us. One thing I was very clear about early on was that I didn't want any surprise speeches or announcements. My family is emotional, Alex's family is loud, and I wanted the reception to be structured so we didn't end up with drunk uncles hijacking the microphone. I remember saying this explicitly at least twice. Once to the whole bridal party, once directly to Sophie. She nodded and said, "Of course, totally. It's your wedding." Sophie and Mark Sophie had been dating her boyfriend Mark, 29M, for about 3 years at that point. Their relationship was complicated. They loved each other, I think, but they were very on again, off again. Mark was commitment shy. Sophie wanted marriage, kids, the whole thing, and she wasn't subtle about it. I'd lost count of how many times she'd cried to me about wasting her best years on someone who couldn't even talk about the future. About a year before my wedding, Sophie told me she was done waiting. She said if Mark didn't propose soon, she'd leave. I supported her. I meant it. 6 months later, they were still together. No proposal. She didn't talk about it much after that, but I noticed she started posting a lot more on social media. TikToks about soft launching relationships, reposts about if he wanted to, he would. Videos about women taking control of their narrative. At the time, I didn't think much of it. Sophie had always been expressive online. The day itself was beautiful. Not perfect. A boutonniere went missing, the flower girl had a meltdown, but real and joyful. I was nervous, happy, overwhelmed in the way everyone tells you you'll be. Sophie was different. She was energetic, almost buzzing. On her phone a lot, I assumed she was coordinating things or posting stories or just dealing with nerves. She kept hugging me and saying, "This is incredible, just wait." I thought she meant the first dance, or the dessert table, or the fireworks Alex's parents had surprised us with. I didn't think to ask her to clarify. That's on me. The ceremony went perfectly. I married my best friend. I cried. Alex cried. Even Mark teared up, which Sophie later pointed out with a laugh. The reception started strong. Dinner, speeches, the approved ones, laughter. I finally felt like I could breathe. Then Sophie stood up. She walked toward the DJ booth. At first, I thought she was going to help him with something. Then I saw her take the microphone. I felt my stomach drop. She laughed nervously and said, "Okay, I know this isn't planned, but just give me a second." People laughed. Someone clapped. I looked at Alex. He looked confused. Sophie turned to me and said, "I promise this won't take long." Then she turned to Mark, and before my brain could fully process what was happening, she said, "Mark, we've been together for 3 years. We've grown so much together, and being here today has made me realize that life is too short not to go after what you want." The room went quiet in that charged, anticipatory way. Mark's eyes went wide. Sophie dropped to one knee. I don't remember much of what she said after that. Something about love, about choosing each other, about not waiting anymore. I remember the sound, though. The cheering, the clapping. Someone yelled, "Oh my God." I remember Alex squeezing my hand hard like he wasn't sure what to do with it. Mark said yes. Of course he did. What else was he going to do? The DJ played a song. People stood up. Phones were out. Someone pushed Sophie and Mark toward the center of that dance floor. They kissed. And I stood there, in my wedding dress, smiling so hard my face hurt, while my reception turned into their engagement party. I didn't say anything that night. I hugged Sophie. I congratulated her. I posed her pictures with her ring in the frame. I told myself that reacting badly would make me look selfish, bitter, dramatic. Everyone else seemed thrilled. My aunt told me, "What a special thing to share." One of Alex's cousins said, "That was so brave of her." Alex asked me quietly if I was okay. I said yes. I wasn't lying. Not exactly. I was in shock. It wasn't until the next morning when I saw the videos online that it really hit me. Sophie had posted the proposal clip on TikTok. The caption was something like, "When you stop waiting and take control of your love story." It already had hundreds of thousands of views. None of the videos she posted of my wedding mentioned me or Alex by name. I didn't talk to Sophie for a week, not out of spite. I genuinely didn't know what to say. She eventually texted me, "Hey, I feel like you've been quiet. Everything okay?" I asked if we could meet. When we did, I told her calmly how hurt I was. I said I felt blindsided. I reminded her that I'd asked for no surprises, no announcements. She looked genuinely confused. "I didn't think it would be a big deal," she said. "It was such a happy moment. Everyone loved it." I asked her why she hadn't talked to me first. She shrugged. "I wanted it to be real, not staged." That word stuck with me. I asked if she'd planned it. She hesitated, then said, I knew it would be a good moment." I asked her about the TikTok. She smiled, almost apologetically. I didn't think it would blow up like that. I told her it felt like she'd use my wedding as a backdrop for content. That's when her tone changed. "I'm allowed to have my own life," she said. "Just because it was your wedding doesn't mean the world stops for everyone else." I said I never asked for the world to stop. I asked for one day, one event. She told me I was being dramatic, that I should be happy for her, that if the roles were reversed, she would have been honored. I didn't yell, I didn't cry, I just felt tired. It's been months. Sophie and Mark are engaged. Their proposal video has millions of views now. Brands have reached out to her. She's leaned hard into the confident woman takes control narrative. I'm not in her content. We talk occasionally, but it's surface level. She's never apologized. She maintains that she did nothing wrong and that I'm holding on to negativity instead of focusing on the love. Alex supports me, but he also says he doesn't want this to define our marriage or my friendships forever. I don't want that either. But every time I think about that moment, standing there while people cheered for something that wasn't meant to be part of my day, I feel this quiet grief. Not just for the wedding, but for the friendship I thought I had. So I'm asking strangers on the internet because I genuinely don't know anymore. Am I wrong for feeling like my best friend crossed a line by proposing at my wedding?